My name is Dan Torres, and I was the TL here for about 5 years. Kathy and I got hired the same week. So we've been connected for the longest time. I am a realtor, and in addition to my leadership background, I am now a part owner of the Coach Living Realty Group here at Northfield. So today you see on the screen, it says Understanding the DISC Personality Styles. The name of the class was what?
Now or in the past?
Right now, today's class is called
Win more business.
Understanding Behavior Styles. So when we say, what does that mean to anyone? Win more business, understanding behavior styles. What does that mean to you, Kyle?
Yeah. When
Yes.
you get the answer, they can't always hear
Repeat
us,
it.
So you have to, so they can follow along.
Repeat it. All right, give me an answer, Kat. What does that mean when winning business with learning behavior styles? What does that mean to you?
More money, less stress.
More money, less stress. You had your hand up.
I was thinking that if you understand them, where they're coming from, you can, get into that.
Understanding who they are behaviorally. Yeah. Okay. You had your hand up.
I was saying being connecting and being empathetic.
Oh, say that again.
Connecting and being empathetic.
Oh, wow. Red star for you. What does connecting mean?
Just identifying with them. Actually finding something to connect.
Finding something connect, right?
Yeah.
What does empathy mean?
Actually seeing where they're actually I came from the medical profession, so with me with empathy is actually putting myself in that person's place and how I would feel about it.
Fantastic. What's your name again?
Debbie Spicer.
Debbie Spicer. Fantastic answer. Debbie, for those of you guys can't say, she is in the medical profession. Empathy is when you empathize with someone, especially in a medical facility, where they may have gotten some news that really probably wasn't the best news they've gotten. And perhaps you had the greatest day coming into work and you're chipper and cheer.
Right.
They are faced with now the worst news possible. And then you have to change and adapt your behavior to empathize with theirs.
You got it.
There's one in the chat.
Yes.
Ryan says, understanding who someone is and why helps us better accommodate their needs.
Understanding who somebody is and why better helps understand their needs. Great answer. So why are you guys here today? I know because I'm teaching first class 2021. What do you guys want to learn? What are you guys here for? Anybody want to learn about this? Anybody want any more business? Yeah. Okay. Specifically, when we talk about the DISC, does everyone know the DISC, what it is? So the DISC is a behavioral profile that was made popular by Tony Robbins. Anybody know Tony Robbins? Now, he did not create the DISC, however, he made it very popular. The DISC basically states that everyone in this world can be categorized or broken into 4 different quadrants, 4 different behavior styles. They are the D, the I, the S, the C. So Kathy and I can have conversations all the time about who we're meeting with. And I know exactly when she says, Dan, it's a high D, I know exactly how I need to act and behave. Dan, it's a high C, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm terrified. Right? So we're going to talk about the D, the I, the SC, why that matters and why it's important. All right. Before we go there, what's the golden rule?
Treat others as you want them to treat you.
Treat others the way that you want to be treated, right? Treat others the way that, so Steve, I want to treat Steve as if I want to be treated, right? That's the golden rule. Pretty good. Platinum rule is a little bit better. What's the platinum rule?
Would you say going beyond?
Yes, going beyond, treat others better. Platinum rule,
Treat others the way they want to be treated.
treat others the way
Treat
they,
yourself.
who was that?
Fancy.
Go Nancy.
Treat others the way you would treat yourself.
Awesome, fantastic. That's the golden rule. Treat others how you would treat yourself. The platinum rule says you treat others how they want to be treated. Why is that important?
Not everybody wants to be treated the same.
That's right. Not everyone wants to be treated the same way, right? Because I may be a high D personality, I want to be spoken to, I want to be handled a certain way. When a high C tries to treat me like a high C, I want to rip their head off. You're going to figure out why. So the platinum rule says, treat others how they want to be treated. In order for me to treat Steve how he wants to be treated, I have to figure a little bit more about him. I got to figure out who he is, right? All right, anyway. I got to figure out. Just hit your mute button.
You have to turn your volume off.
Test.
There you go, sorry.
Got it? We're good? Okay. So I got to figure out Steve Hahn, what he likes, what he doesn't like, right? And how do I connect? Why is it important to connect with people? We talked about connecting. In sales, why is it important?
Builds trust, builds relationships.
People do business with people they
Right.
like,
Like and trust.
Like, no.
Relate.
low, and trust. We are all salespeople. We have the job of connecting. We're not in the home of selling. We're not in the business of selling homes. We're in the business of connecting with people. We're in the people connectivity business. Emery's been in the business since '85, and she's nodding her head yes, because you've seen over time the different behavior styles, the different personalities, the mirror and matching, right? This is actually a high-level sales course that you're going to be taught today. Before we get started, do you even know your behavioral sign? Are you a D? Are you a high I, a high S, a high C? Do we even know? Who has taken the disc here? Almost everybody. Okay, good, awesome. Give me some disc evaluations. Christine, what are you? High I with a secondary SC. Okay. How about you? Aileen.
High D with a secondary I.
Kath, what about you?
Ideas.
How about you, Emery?
Kind of even with the ISCs and low D.
Really? Okay. So all right. I love you said that. So quite often there's a primary driver and then there's a secondary characteristic. Mine is a DI. My primary is D, secondary is I. Anne Marie, however, has got kind of even keel on the ISC and then a little bit lower D. Most people have a primary and secondary. Some people, they're even keeled like Anne Marie. So she's an anomaly.
Older and wiser.
For those of you that have not taken the disc, I would go to Tony Robbins. All you have to do is Google Tony Robbins disc, DISC. He'll probably have you fill out some sort of capture your information, but he'll allow you to take the disc. You'll be able to understand behaviorally who you are. And why is that important to understand behaviorally who you are?
You gotta match yourself to a client you see every day.
You got to match you just heard, I just heard you say you have to mirror and match.
Yeah.
So Steve Hahn, what you're saying is you have to change your behavior in order to match with the person that you're connecting with.
Yeah.
Right? Awesome. So those of you that haven't taken the disc, take it. We all know this about people. There are people that are active, outgoing, fast-paced, talk loud, very positive, enthusiastic, like moi. Then there's people that are more reserved. They're a little bit slower paced, calculating. They're a little bit concerned, cautious, right? Right there, there are two different behavior styles. You have to know that because we have to figure out who these people are so that we can connect and empathize. It all goes back to connecting up, empathizing. Okay, so we've all been around people that are speaking a mile a minute, like a chatterbox, they talk forever. And then you have those people that kind of stay in a corner by themselves. They're quiet and reserved. That's fine too. Polar opposite people and polar opposite the way we need to communicate with them. The way we need to communicate with them. All right. There's also task people versus people orientated. So task people, they like form, function, get things done. They like to plan things out. There's projects, right? And then your people orientation people, they really are all about relationships and emotions and friendships and caring and sharing. So a lot of those people that hold their heart on the sleeve are those people that are very much in tune with their feelings, are more people oriented versus task oriented. All right. This is why you guys came here. You master this here, you then can sell and connect with anyone. So the D, the I, the SC, what we'll talk about first are the D's, then we'll go to the I's, and we'll go to S's and C's. But you see the four quadrants. There's four quadrants that everyone is broken up into. Some of us have primary, then secondary, right? Some of us are even keel. So when I look at these, obviously they're towards the task-oriented side of the equation, right? The C's are more task-oriented. The I's and S's prefer to be around people, right? They are strong people personalities. They love to be around. They'll walk into a room full of strangers and walk out with 1,000 different friends. Once we learn how to master that right there, that's all we need. All right, let's dive into the D. By the way, any questions, please stop me because I am a D and you'll figure this out very quickly right now if you haven't already. D's move fast. They like to win.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
What does coach mean before it?
What does what?
Coach mean?
Coach.
When I took mine, it said coach and then dash IS.
Coaching style, probably. Yeah, your coaching style is probably your preferable style that you like to receive information. All right. So your D's at the top, you'll see there, the task method is my way. They see goals as a challenge. Aileen and I were actually having a conversation specifically about this. High D's love the thrill of the hunt. It's not really the money, but it's the hunt, that challenge that takes place. That's something that's a basic desire for us. And by the way, Stephen, I see you taking pictures. You guys will, whoever leaves their email in the chat box, Christine will email them this entire plan. Cool.
I can email everybody that's in attendance.
Sweet. Awesome. Awesome. So you guys will all get this. So the D's are, their basic need is choice, control, challenge. Their greatest fear is being taken advantage of. These are not, we don't trust anyone. I had contractors today and I told them at my house this morning and I said, oh, don't worry, I'll be doing a background check on you. And I will, because we don't trust anybody. Sorry. These like to win, plan new ideas, be in the boss, results, move fast, right? These also don't like indecision, lazy people, details. Details. Taking orders. I'm hiring an executive assistant because Dan Torres stinks at this here. Dan Torres is not lazy. Dan Torres hates details. Hate it. Why is that important going on a listing presentation?
You can have like 20-page listing.
You damn right. Steve Hahn said you can have a 20, sometimes 50-page listing presentation. You prepare this big, beautiful presentation, all this information about the schools and about the parks and the drive-in movie, all this stuff that you're ready to share. And a D is going to hate it. Okay, that's why it's important to know your target audience. You can turn someone off very, very quickly. These common phrases, just get it done. I don't care how my kids do something, just get it done. You got a task that you get it done. Yeah, but should I do it? I don't care, just get it done. These don't want to know about the information on what it takes. They just want to know that it's done. There's about 10%, 10%, actually, no, this is about, I forget, this is 20, probably 20%. About 20 to 25% of the population is actually Bs. That says 10%, but it's actually about 20 to 25%. A lot of people have a primary D and then a secondary I. So you're going to run into these kinds of people. The other thing is you want to be quick with them, get to the point, be specific. Okay, these are going to have, and we'll talk a little bit about listing presentations with these. We'll talk a little bit about that, but just remember, get to the point with these people very, very quickly. If it's a team environment, down here it says the value to the team is they're organizers. They like to take charge. All right, here's what we're going to do. These are your generals. These are your army, the military guys that are actually, rounding the troops up and saying, guys, here's what we're doing today. Any questions on the Ds? You guys are probably starting to figure out some people in your life that are Ds. You probably were calling them a jerk at some point. You probably were probably calling some other names at some point. Because I operate this way at home as well, my wife calls me a couple of choice words sometimes when I get in this mode, right? You get in this mode and you forget, right? Ds get into this mode and we just forget what's happening around us. My goal is to pull myself out. I got to reel myself out. All right, slow down, Dan. Look around, talk to whoever's around you, see what's happening, right? So that's my challenge as a high D. Any questions on a D? All right, we're going to go to I's now. High I's. High I's are very outgoing, very interactive, very, very much people personalities. Their task method is a fun way. Woohoo! Let's do this. We're going to go here, go there. Yeah. They're going to be your partiers. They're going to create the party. They're going to organize the parties. They set to the short term in terms of goals. They're not really looking past tomorrow. These people are not very calculating in terms of how they set goals. These are your fly by the seat of your pants kind of people. I have to admit, sometimes I'm that way. That's my secondary. My secondary comes in, babe, you want to go? Let's go on a trip next weekend. Boom, spur of the moment, here's the trip we go, and then whatever. Your eyes are taking that to another level. Their basic need is they want to be recognized and approved. They want you to really figure out and draw them into the conversation. Validate who they are in the conversation. A lot of times we have to nod. Aileen and I were talking about this. And Marie knows this because this is old school sales. What happens when you nod in affirmation? Yeah, you connect. You understand. Yeah, you steer, you guide the conversation, right? I'm understanding you because I'm nodding in affirmation, right? Your high eyes are going to want that affirmation. They're going to want that recognition. Their greatest fear is rejection. Don't ever shut down a high eye. You may not get them back. may not get them back. Their greatest fear is not being recognized and rejected. They really, really want to be part of something. Got to be very careful. It says here, the I types, they like to be liked. They like to be around people. Others don't understand. I try so hard and I just can't seem to. Anne-Marie's, she's making faces because she's figuring people out around her, right? And they love to be part of a group. They'd rather be around people. They're people oriented versus secluded. These people are the people that go into a room full of strangers and walk out with 90% of them as friends. And they've set up parties. They're going canoeing with this one. They're going to movies with that one, right? That kind of person. They do not like being ignored. This is important during a listening presentation. If you get someone who's a chatty person, that's one of the telltale signs for a high I. They don't like to be ignored. They don't like to feel like they're isolated. You actually have to bring them into the conversation at a listening appointment. Again, they want to be fun. It says here, they want you to be upbeat. Go back to the platinum rule. Treat people how they want to be treated. They want you to be upbeat. And that's very difficult for people that are high C's and S's to be upbeat because it's not their behavior style. But mirror matching comes in, like Steve Hunt said, we have to connect with that person, figure out who they are, and then adapt, mirror and match. Everything is positive. For high I's, storm, lights just went out, doesn't matter. Oh, this is great, this is awesome, it's raining out, snowing out. Oh, how fun, the lights are off. Oh my God, let's play hide and seek. That's these people. Steve Hack is looking at me like, I want to kill these kinds of people. Right? For high D's, we're like, oh my God, you're way too much for me right now. Like, right? In my past, when I was in leadership, I was recruiting agents, and I always tell the story. And I love this agent to death. This agent that's not with the firm, not with our brokerage. She literally left me a voicemail. 3 minutes and 59 seconds. I said 3 minutes. 3 minutes and 59 seconds. What does a high D do? Delete. Actually, what I did was I listened to about the first 5 seconds, fast forward to the last 5 to 10 seconds, and I hit delete. I don't know what happened in between. I ain't got, you want me to listen to a 3 minute, 59 second message? No. However, that's the high I coming out in people that are just talk and talk and talk. A lot of times I get into sessions that I think are coaching sessions. They turn into like a counseling session. With a high I, they can talk for 30 minutes and 29 minutes and 59 seconds. I say hi, they walk away from that conversation. Dan, you say the greatest things. Oh my gosh, you're so awesome. Said one word. Why? Because they want to talk. They want to get things off their chest. A lot of times with high Ds, for us, it's difficult to allow a high I to constantly talk. Because you're like, oh my God, he's shaking his head. Yes, we're like, oh my God, yeah, okay. This is great. Yeah, fantastic. Oh, I love that you want to go camping. Oh, that's wonderful. Right? However, when we talk about connecting, know, like, and trust, mirror matching, these are things we have to do.
So Dan, is it safe to say with someone like that, you're only gonna have to ask one question?
Pretty much. Pretty much. Right? You ask a question and what happens, Kat?
They go on and on.
Yeah, you asked about the bathroom and they told you about when it was installed, what color toilet they had beforehand, when they did the renovation, who did the renovation. Oh, that renovation, that contract, he's out of business right now. He went to Florida because he got sued and he got locked up in Florida. Right? I mean, these people are just going to keep going. You're going to go, wow. Right? So to Kathy's point, you ask them one question, they give you the answer, and then they feel like you have validated them. Remember, their biggest fear is rejection. When we allow the eyes to talk and to express themselves, they automatically like you. because there's probably people in their lives that just shut them down. You know what? I ain't got time for you right now. Like literally, it's probably some friends and family that, look, I can't talk to you right now. So when we allow that I to express themselves, we're connecting, we're building that rapport, we're building that bond. Does that make sense? As far as a team, they are creative in terms of problem solving, and they're very good at motivation and encouragement. These are your cheerleaders. They're going to rally up all the troops. They're going to make sure everybody's got their water bottles ready, their headbands on. If they're going to exercise in, they're going to tell you exactly what song we're going to sing and all that jazz. Everyone knows a high I in this room, guaranteed. When you think about it, you'll know exactly who I'm talking to here. Oh my gosh, this person's a high I. All right, so the S's, by the way, the I's are about 20 to 25%. The high S's now are about 30 to 35%. Their task method is easy. Easy way. They like things even paced. Their basic need is of being appreciated, security. Their greatest fear is change. When you throw a monkey wrench into the program on an S, they go literally short circuits them. You literally can see smoke coming out of their ears. They're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. No, hold on, time out. You said you were going to be here at 10 o'clock. I just arranged for the babysitter. I dropped the dog off. The fish are now being taken care of. You said you'd be here at 10. Now you want to come at 2? Like, no, I can't do. I planned out my day because at 2 o'clock, I got to pick the dog up, the cat and the mouse and the fish and all that stuff. The S's are going to want to be very, very predictable and stable. Write down for S's security. Security is their basic need. They want to feel secure in listing appointments, or when you're working with buyers and someone who's undecided. How can you create an opportunity to allow them to self-discover that this is the most secure thing for them to do? How can you have a conversation with someone you're working with? What is a script that you can use to draw that security in or out of them? Let's say if somebody lives in a terrible, terrible area and they want to move, but they're afraid of selling their house. They're not sure they want to get there, right? The conversation can be, isn't it the most secure thing for you to do? Sell your home now. Get out of this craziness. Buy into this area. Because they're not shootings everywhere. They're stabbings. Isn't it more secure? Use those words. Isn't it more secure? When you have more security, knowing that you now made that change, and that change is now making it better for you and your family. S's like teamwork. They like harmony. They're very predictable. They don't like insensitivity, misunderstanding, being yelled at, which I hope no one here yells at any one of their clients. That last one is big though. Being pushed. Old school sales. Anybody go to old school sales training? Anne Marie, probably.
I'm thinking it's Glenn Gary, Glenn Ross.
Glenn Ross, Glenn Gary. Either of them, Anne Marie, they say, you got to get that contract. You're not leaving until you get that contract, and you're going to stay there and get 7 no's and 10 no's until you get to the yes. That's going to be a problem with the high S's. They don't like to be pushed. Okay. So when you find an S, and I am all about going for the close a number of times, depending on the behavior style. If I know that I'm dealing with an S, I'm going to figure out their desire, their emotions, the security which they need, and then I'm definitely going for the close a couple of times. However, if I feel like or their body language becomes such that they're starting to become standoffish, I need to back up. What did I just do behaviorally? Cross your arms. What does that mean? Yeah. Yeah. What if somebody suddenly crosses their arms on you? What does that tell you? Shutting down. Protecting themselves, right? They don't want, you know what? You're pushing me and now I'm putting up the wall and now you're done. So mirror them, right?
Watch them unfold their arms slowly. You can watch that happen.
Yeah. Have you had, that's a great point. Emery says you can actually mirror match them. If they close up, you can also cross your arms as well. And then as you walk through the conversation, and then it starts to become a little bit where person was here, now it's here. Their shoulders drop a little bit, and then maybe they come down to here, right? And it opens back up. And as they do that, Anne-Marie, what you're saying is we should also do that as well, right?
And that's part of empathy.
A part of empathy.
Yeah, that was the next-
Correct. Correct. Remember that most communication we have with people is visual. What we say doesn't always matter. It's really how we say it and our body language. So when we talk about sales, we talk about going to a listing presentation, people are going to be watching you the minute you get out of the car to the time you come up to the step, maybe how you approach the door, how you knock on the door, how you present yourself, how you're standing. Am I upright? Am I confident? Or am I, right? Difference in body language, how we present, how we show up, right? All right. S's are very, very dependable and loyal team players. These people, if you get a high S and you are, you do a great job for them, this is where you'll find a lot of referrals. People who are high S's are very loyal people. They will go with you to the end of the earth and they will help you. Hey, Dan, I need help. Absolutely. What do you need? Very, very loyal, dependable people. And when you think about the most dependent people in your life, they're probably high S's. And they're great for referrals. They want you to be kind and patient and predictable. So Steve Hahn said, hey, I brought this 40-page, right? 40-page listing presentation. The S's are going to, gosh, thank you so much. Page one. Ooh. Steve, do you mind if I'm just going to read this real quick. You don't mind? Okay, great. Wow. These people literally are the people that when you go to, anybody buy a home? Anybody buy a home? You ever gone to settlement? Somebody literally reads every page of the packet. You're thinking, all right, I check 15 minutes in, 15 minutes out. And then it's like, I want you to be patient. These people will have a lot of questions and they will want a lot of answers. So for the S and for the C, the biggest thing you could do is give them information. And they want to see that with local parks. They want to know about the school. They want to know every tidbit of information there is for that particular property. So that's exactly what they're looking for. C's are very much like S's. They also like to be challenged. They're very detail oriented. They want the details and they want quality. They want value. These are the people that are okay with paying extra for whatever it is, as long as they see the value. When you determine your value proposition as a listing agent, as long as you come prepared and you overwhelm someone with value, the high C's are going to say, where do I sign? 6%, 8% commit, doesn't matter. You show me the value. You just won me over. Their biggest fear is criticism. So high C's, the biggest fear, biggest challenge that high D's have with C's is that we have to make sure the language in which we use does not appear critical to a high C. Notice what I said. I didn't say that we are critical. The language that can be perceived as critical, right? As a high D, we just want to get it done. A lot of times we don't always know what to say, how to say it in the manner it should be said, especially to us. We have to be very cognizant about who we're dealing with and pause and say, okay, I need to scale back and figure out how I need to say, your house sucks. Can't say that, right? We can say it another way, especially with the high Cs. About 25% of the population, they like to be right, but these people, they like to have clear instructions. These people are very compliant. So for Cs, a key word is compliance. Compliance. They like clear instructions. They like planning. They are going to love every time you send them an email and say, congratulations, Anne-Marie, we're now out of attorney review. Here's what to expect next. They're gonna be like, great, fantastic. Okay, 3 days return. Okay, so Anne-Marie said now home inspection's 14 days, and that's calendar days. So today's the 3rd to 17th. Okay, great. They are going to watch you. The week of the 17th, there better be more communication on these people. The more communication with these people, the better. These people want to be talked to multiple times a week. If you're not talking to your people at least once a week, you should. In dealing with S's and C's, try to communicate with them 2 to 3 times a week, if possible. They love that kind of communication. They also are going to be checking you out to see how well organized you are. If you say to a high C, hey, I'll call you at 3 o'clock tomorrow, 2:59, you better be dialing that number, because, and she's nodding her head, right? We've all dealt with high Cs that when you call them and something, you know, my car broke down, they're like, you said you were going to be here at 3. I'm not sure what happened, but like, they're going to be very critical. All right. So make sure if you're a high D, get your together. All right? My biggest challenge is connecting with Cs because I'm not detail oriented. I don't like information. I don't plan like in terms of what I'm doing every minute of the day. Cs definitely have to have that. Again, the Cs do not like being criticized, mistakes, sudden changes, sloppy work, unpreparedness. So Steve Hahn comes prepared with a 40-page listing presentation. He showed up on time. He's carrying himself well. He's confident. He's pleasant to talk to. He's honorable to, would you like me to take my shoes off? He comes in the house. He delivers a prepared package. He is going to love Steve Hahn because he brought all of that stuff. He was prepared. He did what he said he was going to do. And there was no problems. These need more information. In a lot of my recruiting appointments, I open up, and by the way, write this question down. This is a very, very good question in attempting to determine who someone is. When I first walk into an appointment, I always say at some point in the beginning of the conversation, Aileen, before we get started, what are the top 1 or 2 things that we can discuss to make the best value of our time today? What are the top 1 or 2 things we can discuss today to make the most value of our conversation or our time?
Last thing again.
Yeah. What is the top 1 or 2 things that we can discuss today to make the most value of our conversation or the time we have today? Based on what we just went over, I know we went through this quickly, the D, the I, the S, the C. What would a high D say? What's the bottom line? What can you sell my house for? Anne Marie, just, you know what? Thanks for coming. Come on in. Just, what do you think? Tell me what my house worth. What do you think you sell for? And when? Right? These want to get to the point. Now, I asked that question, but I brought 48 pages of listing presentation. Stephen Hahn, am I going to present all 48 pages to a high D? No. Those pages just conveniently just stayed on the table, like, just brought some information in case you need it. All right. So let's talk about how much we could sell your house for. Here's my analysis. Here's what the 3 comps sold in the last 3 months in this area. And here's what I think you should sell your house for. That's it. The D presentation probably should be 15 to 20 minutes, 30 minutes, maybe. Right? How would the I respond to that question? Is that funny? You want lunch? Oh my gosh, come on in. You do coffee or tea? Or would you like water? Sweetened or unsweetened tea? Would you like Sprite or 7-Up? I know there's a little bit of difference. I mean, one's more fizzy now. I think the lemon on one, the 7-Up in there. Right? The I is going to go, oh my gosh, that's so awesome. No one's ever asked me that. Oh my gosh, look at your card. It's so cute. It's so unbelievable. Hey, you look great today. Come on in. Yeah, let's get some. Right? You're going to get that. What the S going to say to you? Remember, they're more secure, security, stability. What are they going to say? I'm gonna. What may they say? What can I do to help?
They're gonna ask what you think.
Can I ask what you think? What else?
They want to be secure.
They want to be secure in their move, right? Well, Dan, you know what? I appreciate you. I have a lot of questions. You know, honestly, I think this is a big decision for me and my family. You know, we have small children, and I want to make the best move possible because we don't like to move, and this is a big thing. We hate moving. I hate moving, and this is a big thing for us. How about the C's? What are the C going to say?
Where's my spreadsheet?
The C's are going to love that 48 pages you just brought. The C's, and when I was at a recruiting appointment, I asked that same question. The agent says, I know you said 1 or 2, but is it okay if I ask a couple more questions? She brings out a binder, puts it on the table, and there's like 30-some questions. There's like 3 pages of questions. I was like, oh, you brought some questions. Cool. Let's go through them. Right? And we literally went through them. Why? Because you have to validate their existence. You have to validate who they are. And every one of those questions are important to them. If they've taken the moment to write it down, the high D that says, oh my gosh, I don't have time. I only booked like an hour for this appointment. Like, come on, we got to get through some of this. No. You better take the time with the high C and answer those questions. Be very, very detail oriented. They also will love that listing presentation that you brought. They will watch and they will pick up on every. So there's a video. I didn't cue it up today, but it's a cool video. A listing agent says that he sends a pre-listing package a week prior to. Now, if you guys are not doing that, you should do it. With email, it's easy peasy. Send a pre-listing a week ahead. This agent deliberately brings or creates some sort of a mistake, whether it's a typo, something misspelled, some punctuation on page 9 of the listing. So he does that on purpose. He asked, so Steve, did you get a chance to review my listing presentation? I said it to you a week ago. High C's are going to pick up that he actually purposely put that mistake on page 9. Yeah, Steve, I know I appreciate you emailing me. However, page 9, I think there was a little mistake there. You might want to corrected. It was used there, but it wasn't the right word there for there, right? So the high Cs need information. The more you can come to a listening presentation presented with information, the greater the chances of closing an S or C. The Ds and Is aren't really going to care, but at least you brought the day. Make sense?
Yes.
All right, let's see how this applies to real estate. Over the phone indicators, D's and I's tend to speak louder and faster. Oh, is that me? Am I loud and fast? Yeah. Christine was like, oh my gosh, Dan, you have to stay next to the microphone because they're not gonna be able to hear. Oh, they will be able to hear me. Trust me. S's and C's tend to speak softer and smoother. They're more deliberate in their communication. They also want to enunciate words. Correct. Be right. That's important. I's and S's. Did you guys see what I did there? Let's see. Anne Marie shaking hand. All right. I didn't lose everybody. I's and S's tend to show more emotion. I's are, remember, they're very emotional people. The difference between a high I and a high S, the high I is going to talk your ear off. And they're going to go off on tangents. And you're going to have to bring them back to the conversation. And then they go off on another tangent. You bring them back to the conversation. Some of you guys are shaking your head. Either you are or you've witnessed. D's and C's are unemotional. My friend Kathy Pelegi, she's definitely emotional. Very, very emotional person. Not. We love Kathy, right? And we also know she's not an emotional person. One thing I love about her. When you call in, try to narrow that indication and try to figure out who these people are on the phone. Try to narrow them down. If they're loud and fast, you know, D or I. They're quiet and more reserved, S. Unless they're not supposed to be on the phone and they're at work and they're there kind of thing. But the natural tonality of someone, those are big indicators on who people are behaviorally on the phone, based upon the phone. Ha! I love this part. So at the listing appointment, D's tend to have clean homes with wood or traditional furniture. Their homes will be neat and organized. They probably employ a cleaning company. What do you think their landscaping looks like? You think their grass is well manicured? Or is it all over the place? Well manicured, right? There's not going to be a blade of grass. They probably hire a lawn company. Their bushes are probably, you know, very standard, but everything's neat, organized in its place, right?
Nothing's eccentric.
Nothing eccentric. I love that. Exactly. That word you'll see a little bit. What kind of car do you think a D will most likely drive? Remember, power, strong, disciplined, commanding. I'm the boss. What do you think they would drive? What kind of car?
Range Rover.
Range Rover,
Maybe a Keller.
Escalade, Jeep. Yeah. Mercedes Benz, probably black, right? Black interior. BMW, there's probably nothing inside that car. By the way, when I go to listing presentations, I look at people's homes and I look at the cars and then I peek inside the car as I'm walking up. Just a quick peek. All right, cool. Chaos. Which means I know behaviorally who I'm dealing with. Two people I'm dealing with here. If it's clean, neat, you can't see a speck of grass. It just rained and this guy's car's clean still, the black Mercedes, ID. High I's. Their homes are going to be well decorated with modern or in-style furnishings. You said eccentric, right? Their homes will be colorful. Be 5 different colors on every wall in their house, right? What do you think their landscaping looks like?
Immaculate. Not a leaf on the grass.
Well, the high I's. We're going to I's now. High I's are, remember, eccentric. They like
Natural.
color
landscape.
everywhere.
They don't care.
Lots of flowers.
Lots of flowers. It's like God talking to me. I've been a good boy. Flowers, colorful, Maybe they have a fountain out front. Maybe the fountain's a little bit crooked. The grass doesn't kind of really make sense. The mulch beds or some of the mulch, some of the, some of that plants, bushes, flowers, all kinds of stuff going on. What kind of car do you think they drive? Remember, fun, colorful. What's it called? Red sports car. Oh my God, my convertible. Steve, we gotta take a drive. It's so awesome out. The sun's out. It's brilliant out. You guys see my new car. It's so fun. We're gonna go down the street. I'm gonna take the top off. It's gonna be great. Right? They're gonna drive the yellow bug. Oh my God, my Beetle. It's got a Beetle. It's so awesome. And I got the little sunflower thing in the thing. It's in a cup holder. It's so amazing. So awesome. Right? Inside their car might be a little chaotic, maybe a little messy. S's, they will have comfortable homes, country clutter, maybe the decor of choice. They'll also have many family photos. So when you see photos everywhere, I'm like, oh, okay. Yes. All right, cool. Oh, wow, you get to so tell me about your family. All right, just stay quiet. What kind of car do you think they will drive? Minivan. Because they're interested in security. Right? Toyota Camry. Oh, this car driver says 5 greatest cars. Number 1 is Toyota Camry. I got to get a Camry. It's secure. Right? It's good on gas. It's practical. On the Odyssey van, all those kinds of things. And your C's. These people will have very neat homes. These are homes you go into, and there's nothing on the wall except my diploma from Yale or wherever. The walls are going to be gray or white. Everything's going to be very plain, very sparse, right? They'll tend to have diplomas hanging off the walls. Everything is neat and organized. Nothing is out of place. Like this would probably make a high C have a connection. These pens are not. Let's put this here. Shouldn't go here. Right? These are going to have meticulous landscape, nothing out of place. Their car is going to be what? What do you think their car is going to look like? Probably Lexus, BMW. It's going to be clean. It's going to be neat, orderly, not a dent on it. As soon as a dent's on there, they're going to fix it. Right? And their inspection sticker is definitely going to be good. All right, asking for the order. They're going to make very quick decisions. Very quick. They're going to like you or they're going to hate you. That's it. There's no in between. You're going to know whether you're getting business or not. Be direct. Mr. or Mrs. Smith, this house is all that you wanted at a price you can afford. Do you want to buy it? What am I doing? Yeah. Here's another tidbit. You guys ever practice the awkward moment of silence? You ask a question, you just stay there and look at it. Isn't it amazing, Kath? Tell me about it. They squirm, right? Do you want to buy it? Yes, fine. No, fine, I'll buy it. Right? That awkward pause of silence, like I asked you a question, I'd like an answer.
Was the first one a 12?
That's right. That's right. It's kind of like in negotiations. So I'm going to ask you a question and I'm just going to look at you. So do you want to buy it? Right? Nodding is body language. Body language is extremely powerful especially when you're looking for an affirmation. Isn't that right? Shouldn't you sell your house right now and get to where we want to go? Isn't it better for you to sell your house now? Because you really don't want to worry about, the taxes any longer, right? The negative is the same as powerful. Like on a listing appointment, guy brings up Zillow. Like, That's my reaction. Why is my face, why does my whole body change from interested to why? It's informed. You're the professional. You're the professional, not Zillow. Zillow has a national algorithm. This is what I tell the clients when they bring up Zillow. All right, so let me tell you real quick. Zillow has a national algorithm, Steve, that will attempt to identify what your house is worth. However, they don't consider laser-focused, targeted, local, what we call hyper-focused criteria or issues. According to Zillow, Manhattan, New York City is probably worth the same as 3-bedroom house in Idaho, Boise, Idaho, depending on where you are, right? The eyes, they can also be quick decision makers. They have, remember, an overwhelming need to be accepted and recognized. The script is, this house is perfect for entertaining. This neighborhood is so popular and the homes are selling so fast. Can you see yourself living here? I mean, the backyard's awesome. Got the deck, got the pool out there. You can start having community people come over and have parties, right? The more you can inject fun into eye conversation, the better you're going to do this. So high eyes have to feel like it's fun, and you have to bring yourself to that level. It's very difficult for high CSs to get to an I status, just like it's a high D difficult challenge to get to a high I status. Because they're going to be all over the place, all about fun, and we just want to get it done. I just want to sign a contract. S's, they will need time to make a decision. When helping NS focus on security, safety, and family, once you have gained that trust, they are loyal and honest. For them is the safest thing to do would be to sell your home. And then we can preserve your family happiness. If these people push back, go for the close, as long as you feel like they're not going to do this. But you have to be a little detective and figure out that based upon my conversation, I'm going to attempt another close. Give it a minute and circle back. I'm going to attempt to close. If they're still engaged in the conversation, we'll attempt it. If I feel like they're starting to pull back from the conversation, maybe not so much so. Great, fantastic. Steve, I understand you want to take some time to make this decision. What would be the best time that you and I can talk in the next week? Would Tuesday at 3 work, or do you need till about Thursday around 5? Tuesday at 3, great, fantastic. I'm going to send you a calendar invite. I'm going to be here at 2:55. We're going to go over any other questions that you have. Does that sound fine? Give these people some room sometimes. They need a lot of information. They will not make a rush decision. They're not going to make a rush decision because they feel like they don't want to be taken care of, and they want to make sure we're cautiously doing the right thing. Caution is big on them. Never be vague or guess. These are the types of people you can't fake it until you make it with these people. They will read through you and they will call you out on your BS. If you don't know the answer to a question, you know what, Steve, that's a great question. Let me write that down. I don't know the question. However, today by 3:30, I'll have the answer to you. How's that sound? Okay. As promised, this is all the information that we discussed. You're now well prepared to make an intelligent decision. Remember, the C's need a lot of information. All right, saying thank you. Everybody pretty much knows how to say thank you. Eyes are going to want to talk forever. You guys can go through here. By the way, this and here's some of the additional resources. This presentation was not completed by me. There is somebody that's on here that I want to give credit to. Where is she? There's another KW agent that allowed us to use its content. Maybe it's on the first page. Okay. All right, we just went through a ton of stuff in 70 minutes. What have you guys heard? What are you hearing? Give me some ahas. Is sales just showing up and, just trying to sell people? No. No, it's connecting with people. By the way, anybody read the 5 love languages? 5 love languages? There's a couple people. For those of you who have not read that book, get that book. It's called The 5 Love Languages. I forget the author. He basically says that everyone has a love language, a language in which they want to feel connected to. Let me see if I can get them. Who knows them all?
Words of affirmation.
Words. Gifts. Touch.
That's all I know.
Quality time. And what's the last one? What is it?
Okay.
Last one is acts of service. Now this is a little aside from this class. However, it does talk about connecting. Believe it or not, physical touch is how my wife validates me. She happens to be physical touch. We're both 2 little cuddle bunnies. My son is a physical touch. I am a cuddle bunny, so me and him cuddle bunny. We're all the time wrestling and that. That's our language. My daughter's words of affirmation. When I can joke around and say stupid stuff to my son, I cannot say the same thing to my daughter. I will shut her down. Right? My other daughter likes gifts. Right? You validate our relationship because you have given me this. It doesn't have to be expensive. It's just, oh, wow, you took the time, the thought, right, to create a gift, make a gift, whatever that is. Quality time. Quality time. Wow, I validate my conversation, my relationship with you because you guys have you have told me that, you wanted to spend time with me. You set up this date night or you set up whatever the case is. And acts of service, like those are the people that, oh, honey, you did the dishes for me. Thank you so much. Awesome. You mean so much to me. Right? A stupid thing like doing the dishes just made my life pretty good because now I get something in return. Probably. So 5 Love Languages is a book you got to go out and read. For those of you that want to do investigatory kind of things, if you want to research, Google, YouTube, neuro-linguistic programming. Anne-Marie shaking her head, right? NLP is something that high level behavioral analysts, behavioral profilers, psychologists talk, speak, and honestly, high level salespeople use NLP all the time. And Aileen and I were talking about this earlier, and she says, you're like staring into my soul using NLP. So research, Google, YouTube, NLP. There's another thing to research that helped me a lot discover people behaviorally is a book on emotional intelligence. There are people that are very, very book smart. And then there are people that are amazing at reading people. I read a book, and I forget the author's name the book was called Emotional Intelligence. Dr. Stanley, maybe? Anyway, any book you can read on emotional intelligence will help you further kind of understand behavior. This is kind of like higher level, almost like psychology kind of stuff. All right, so I threw a lot at you guys. You're gonna read books, you're gonna Google, YouTube, all kinds of stuff. Everybody's gonna be NLP certified next week. What ahas? We need 5 ahas before we end the class, Christine, and they can be online or they can be here. You have to lock the door, make sure no one leaves until we get 5 ahas.
I'm a little confused because I'm a CI and everything you went over are like,
Mm.
and I'm like, what, like,
So your primary is a C,
and like
secondary?
Yeah.
Really?
I'm really high of both of those things, but then like, some of them are so opposite too, that I hate of each
Okay,
one. And I'm like.
That's a great
I'm gonna
point.
hate myself, you know?
so what you're saying is your primary is a C, your secondary is an I. What we know that is generally you're either primary, secondary, or primary, secondary, primary, secondary, or primary, secondary. You definitely, well, we
Yeah,
don't see it
maybe
often that you're jumping across, right? So that's interesting. I haven't seen a CI unless if it's followed by an S. If your third is an S, you're a CIS. Depends, but that's not that it's not normal, it's just not average. So you have a mixture of organization and compliance and total chaos and fun and eccentric. And
Because I ask all them questions, but in like a fun way, you know? And
Yeah.
organization is kind of important, but not really.
that's interesting.
Yeah. this
the-
whole thing is like-
What did it help you at all? Is there any
A little
value?
bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was more helpful, like the other people, like the card thing was kind of helpful. You
Okay.
know? Just like little things like reading other people.
Here's some good stuff on the chat too.
Yeah.
Nancy says, you must know who you were dealing with when you were speaking to them. And she said, side note, I just realized I married a high C.
Mm.
Jennifer Freeman says, great refresher course. I did this many years ago. Keisha said it was her favorite class. It's very important to know people and know yourself as well in order to figure out how you need to approach.
I love the trigger words. One in the conversations.
Yes. Yes.
I have.
Especially for the S's, they want security.
Yeah.
Like I throw out the security word all the time. Isn't it more secure? Won't you have more stability when, right? You lead that conversation with those trigger words.
Okay, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, if you're going for a distance, okay, and you may have a wife that's a D, okay? There may be a husband that's a C. You know.
So great point. A lot of times we go to listing appointments
Mhm.
and there's two, husband, wife, or spouse and spouse, whatever the case is, right? And yeah, so what do? You have a D, you're saying you're high D and then a high C.
I see.
Two opposite sides of the spectrum.
Mhm, mhm.
And you see that a lot with couples.
Yeah, you do.
You'll see like one's always asking 1,000 questions
Mhm,
and the other one's, oh my gosh,
Right, yeah,
right?
right.
Anne Marie, what would you do?
You have to appeal to both of them. But you usually do find out who the decision maker is. And being a woman, I almost always appeal to the woman. The
Right.
woman's happy.
That's what I did.
That's,
I did the
that's-
right thing there.
That's my opinion, that's
Mhm.
my approach.
Right.
But you have to appeal. to them.
The D may check out of the conversation if you're going through a lot of information.
Mhm,
I would say figure out what's relevant and what's important for this person before they check out. So great, Mr. Massell, appreciate you having me over. By the way, before we begin, Mr. Seller, Mrs. Seller, what's one or two things that we can go over today that's most important to you to give us value in this conversation? The D is going to say, I just tell me how much you sell my house for.
Right, right.
Great, fantastic. Exactly, right? So you're writing down, okay, great, fantastic. How much my house is, when can we sell? All right, fantastic. How about you? Well, I'm glad you asked me because I brought a few questions and if you don't mind, there's like 30 something, right? Great, fantastic. So how do we want to have this? How are we going to navigate this conversation? Is it better for us to have the conversation with you, sir or ma'am, whoever the D is? First? Yeah, because I gotta get on a Zoom call now and I got like 10 minutes of it. I want to get in and out. So now you satisfy him or her, give her that information that they desire. Because remember, we're realtors because we are the people that are between the consumer and the information. We're the key to unlocking the information. We give them the information they want. He or she will check out of the conversation in a few minutes, guaranteed.
Right.
And she will continue the conversation. And like Anne Marie said, if she's the decision maker, spend as much time as she wants you to spend.
Right.
Have as much information, detail that she can provide to have that conversation. All right, do we get 5 ahas?
Yeah.
Can we let them go?
Yeah.
Any other questions, guys?
Just a comment, I'm very high D and high I. When I see people that high D or high I, I'm looking like crazy.
And you are the same way?
If I see somebody hyper, like, I'm like, man, they're so hyper. I'm like, goodness gracious, please get the coffee. That's why I was putting on the chatting. Yeah. A lot of people think I'm high I, S or C, but I try to hide the D a lot.
So with you, connecting with the D and I should be easier, right?
That's why that one time I asked you about, I have this high S in the season, I'm having a hard time getting a testimonial from them. You say trust. And then I try that method and boom.
So Stephen, you want to tell the class what you did? You're having a challenge with?
So I was having a challenge with getting testimonials, and I reached out to Dan. I'm like, I need to psychology major, and he taught the this guy.
It's not a psychology major, but yeah, just Agent Hans.
Or psychology background, I guess. He's like this thing. Like first time I took his course, I was like, holy shoot! I took it every 5 years or so, just to, because you could change from high D to high I, flip flop a little bit here and there, and mine always been like high D and high I. Anyway, just hold back. After taking his class, I'm like, man, all the instructions I had just like hit me really hard. And then when I had a hard time getting testimonial from with a few clients and SNCs, and I was reaching out to them. I was like, what can I do to get them to fill this out? I tried it, height of their moment. I tried at the beginning of transaction and transaction, nothing worse. Under trust. That hit me right there. And then just you can't email them, you gotta have a conversation with them. He said that like 2 weeks later, I get like boom, 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 all testimonials.
That's right.
Back to back.
Yeah.
Like, wow, man, that was crazy.
Because you guys are all doing great jobs with your clients, right? So in order to validate that, get a testimonial. And they're gonna, oh yeah, sure. But these people here, difficult to earn trust. But once you have them, they're yours forever. They're gonna be great people for referrals. Always appreciate when you reach out. They're gonna be good people for you to keep in your network.
One just filled out a survey 2 weeks ago, and their closing was 1 year and 2 months ago, which is crazy. What I did was I dropped them a gift card at Christmas Eve in person, and I texted them like a half an hour before. The whole family was there. It's great story about them was they were living in in-laws, like 3 families. It's crazy. And then when they looked, it was VA. I know VA loans and DHS. It's really hard and everything, but VAs, I would go out of my way to pick them up just because the history of my family, what my dad went through and during Korean War and everything. I would drop anything to take care of them. But yeah, I mean, I had them for that long, and then I've been keeping touch with them, but they don't really text back or nothing. Wife's totally opposite. She's high I.
Yeah.
I dropped the gift card off, and then the survey's already been sent 2 days after, and then boom, it's in it. Yeah, and like, I'm so shocked. Oh, a year too late, and the testimony was so long, detail oriented. So I was like, wow,
It took you a while to earn their trust.
I actually kind of teared up a little bit,
Yeah. That's a huge win.
I don't go, man.
Huge win.
It was just like the fact that the conversation I had with you, that just like hit me really hard. I was like, oh my God, man, the trust thing. Yeah.
Well, fantastic, guys. I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Use it to your ability now.